Hi, I'm Holly.
And I'm Jill.
And we're MacLean Adventures. Are you a rail fan? Do you like trains? Do you like traveling by train? Or perhaps into model railroading and garden railroading? Well, we have the adventure of a lifetime for you.
Imagine traveling by train over huge mountain passes, through tunnels, over hundreds of bridges, looking out at lakes, at lush valleys, at quaint villages, and even glaciers.
On top of all that, spectacular accommodations, amazing meals, fantastic wines, cheeses, and some of the world's finest chocolates. Where's our next big adventure?
Switzerland. Many of the people we've taken to Switzerland had no idea all it has to offer. It's actually one of our most popular trips. And once people go, they've all wanted to go back again. One of the best ways to get into Switzerland is by train. This adventure starts in Venice, Italy, an amazing place to visit. We'll spend a couple of days sightseeing, eating great Italian food, drinking great Italian wine, riding on some gondolas, and then we'll get on a train and go up and over the famous Bernina Pass. We will switch from this Italian Mediterranean countryside scenery, go up into the mountains, and all of a sudden spectacular Switzerland just opens up in front of your eyes.
And this train route is world famous. And we are going through glaciers and tunnels, and you've all seen the pictures of the trains coming out of the tunnels and going across these huge stone viaduct bridges. It is a spectacular rail journey, and we end up in the little village of St. Moritz, and that's high in the Swiss mountains there, and it's right on a lake, and we'll be staying at this beautiful hotel called the Kopensky Palace. And we'll be there for a day or two, and there's lots of things to do there. You can ride the gondolas up into the mountains.
You can hike. In the summertime, all the areas that are ski resorts actually become hiking trails. And a lot of our guests have gone on hikes. You can go on the lake. There's actually great whiskey tasting in that town as well.
Has one of the largest whiskey bars. And if you just want to sit back and relax, you can do that. They have a world-class spa right there in the hotel. So one of the great things about being in St. Moritz is that it's the start of the Glacier Express.
And the Glacier Express is another absolutely famous route. It actually starts in St. Moritz and we go all the way to Zermatt. And this will take all day. And we are on a panorama car where you've got glass at the top and the side so you can see the spectacular scenery as we go over almost 300 bridges and through almost 100 tunnels.
And we get to have a wonderful lunch on the train that has the Swiss wines and the typical Swiss foods. That's very good. And then we pull into Zermatt. So the Glacier Express arrives in Zermatt, Switzerland. Zermatt is the icon of Switzerland. It's the home of the Matterhorn. The only way you can get to Zermatt is by a cog railroad. And at the end of the village, you look up and there's the Matterhorn right there. There are no cars there. As you get off the train, they pick you up in little golf carts and take you to your hotel.
And one of the things we like to do is offer our guests some variety to pick and choose what you'd like to do on your holiday. So you can go hiking, again, in the summertime. When there's not skiing going on, it all opens up into beautiful hiking trails that take you to the most amazing restaurants that you will ever dine at, that are tiny and quaint and super old, centuries old, some of them, with amazing views of the mountains and the glacier and the Matterhorn. Or you can stay in the town, which has amazing shops. Just strolling all around, you can buy souvenirs, or it actually has some pretty amazing boutiques as well.
Another option is you can take the trams and gondolas all the way up to the very top to Glacier Paradise. They just put in a brand new gondola that is instantly world famous with spectacular views and a restaurant on top. And you took the train.
Yeah, you can actually take a cog train up on the other side of the town. A couple of us did that, and we ended up at a huge observatory point where it had actually a cafeteria and a hotel up there, but actually you look out and the Matterhorn's right there. So it's a way to get closer to those mountains in the sky by cog train as well if you didn't want to hike.
So after spending a couple of days in Zermatt, we take a short train ride to Wengen, Switzerland. And Wengen's kind of in the center of Switzerland. It's right above Interlaken, and it's another little mountain village. Actually, it's quite a bit smaller than Zermatt, and the only way you can get to that is by cog railroad. There are no cars. It's a very quaint walking village, and we stay in this beautiful boutique hotel that is right on the edge of the plateau, and you look down into the Lausanne Valley, which is like, you know, Yosemite on steroids. It's this beautiful glacier-carved valley, very lush and green, and hundreds of massive waterfalls coming into the valley, and then ringed all around the top are these huge glaciers.
And when we're in Wengen, one of the most unique things to do is to take the train again all the way up to Jungfraujok. And that is called the top of Europe. It's the highest rail station in Europe. And to get there, you have to actually go through the granite mountains. The engineering is unbelievable, and it was done a century
over 100 years, yeah.
Over a century ago. And when you get to the top, there's a variety of things up there. It's actually quite small, but they have level upon level in the granite, restaurants, shops. There's even a chocolate factory. There's an observatory. Scientists actually do live there and study the atmosphere and the glaciers and climate change. You can step out onto the observatory deck with nothing below you but metal grate to be on top of the glaciers, and you feel like you're on top of the world.
One of the other things that they make there, which a lot of people are really surprised to find out, is they make one of the finest whiskeys in the world. And they distill it down in Interlaken, and then they bring the whiskey up in the big casks, and they bury it several hundred feet down into the glacier ice and age it for anywhere from 10 to 20 years. And this Swiss ice whiskey is absolutely wonderful. And so we get to do some great whiskey tastings as well on top of Europe inside of a glacier. So that's really wonderful. Oh, and the ice bar there. So they have several hundred feet down in the glacier, they have this great big ice bar room where you can taste the different wines, and they even have a little miniature curling rink set up there. So that's one of the really cool things about Wengen.
Yeah. So after Wengen, we take the train to Montreal, and it's a very different type of place than what we visited thus far. It's a big city. It's located on Lake Geneva, spectacular views. It's actually known for its jazz festival. And one of the things we do when we're in Montreal is go to this really unique restaurant for dinner.
So this little restaurant is centered in the center of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's surrounded by all of their famous vineyards that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. And a friend of ours is the sommelier and manages this restaurant there. And he's considered one of the top sommeliers in the world, and he's the official sommelier for Switzerland. And he puts together this spectacular wine dinner for us that is course after course after course, paired with all these wonderful wines. And we usually get back to the hotel fairly late at night, but it's fun as we take the little commuter train back to the hotel. So the white pods are located high up in the Swiss Alps, and we take this little road up to this small little village. We get out, and it's about a 15-20 minute walk up to this beautiful high alpine meadow where the white pods are. And what is a luxury yurt? Well, And these definitely are luxury yurts. They have fireplaces inside. Some of them have steam baths,
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
full baths, all the conveniences, a very comfortable bed with Swiss down blankets. It's gorgeous.
And they have in the center of the little pod village is the pod house, and the bottom is a day spa. The middle floor is the restaurant with really good food and the breakfast and the fresh croissants. And then the top is the bar and lounge. So we're there for a couple of days. You can rent electric mountain bikes, and remember we went all the way up to the cheese barn where they had all the cows and the family made the cheeses
Yeah,
there.
they actually offer a variety of activities and you can have your choice. You can sit and relax and just, after all the traveling that we've been doing, just enjoy a few days of quiet relaxation. Or you can bike, or you can they have dogs you can take on a walk. These Swiss mountain dogs that you can take on a walk. There's horses right there. There's just a variety of different things you can do if you choose.
Some of them went the paragliding all the way down to the village. So lots of activities at the White Pods. And just imagine, we get some of the most amazing comments from our guests that go on this adventure and stay there. They come up to us almost in tears, the experiences they've had at the White Pods. Just imagine you're sitting out on a deck, you're watching the sunset, you're drinking some amazing Swiss wine with a spread of Swiss cheeses and chocolates, and we have alpine horns playing in the distance. I mean, what a way to end your day in Switzerland up there.
So after you're all rested and had a beautiful few days at the White Pods, we head back down to Lausanne, which is actually again on Lake Geneva, for our final evening. We have an afternoon, a variety of things you can do. Lausanne is actually the Olympic capital of the world, home of the International Olympic Committee. You can walk around Lausanne, you can go to the Olympic Museum, you can take a boat ride on Lake Geneva. There's a variety of museums you can see for the afternoon. And then we all come back together for the final farewell dinner in Lausanne and just have a great time with all the great people you've met and telling stories of this great adventure you've been on in Switzerland.
Well, if you'd like to learn more about this adventure of a lifetime to Switzerland, go to MacLeanAdventures.com. I'm Holly MacLean.
And I'm Jill Savory.
And thank you for watching.